Welcome back to another video. I feel like it's been a minute since I've sat down in here and talked to one of these, a camera. If you haven't been paying attention, which I don't expect you to, I've been shooting a lot more film photo walks where I don't necessarily talk to a camera or even really show my face in the camera, which has been kind of nice because this takes some work. Don't get me wrong, the other thing does take a bit of work, if not maybe more, so I have to go out of my way and develop it. Anyway, back to what I was getting at. So my main work rig has been this here camera that I'm talking to you right now, the Canon RP. I didn't necessarily get it to be my main work rig per se. I got it because I wanted to test the water, so to speak, as far as mirrorless goes. My thought was either get this or the R, as opposed to, getting like a 1DX Mark II or 1DX Mark III, which is, DSLR territory, which is so big, chunky things. Don't get me wrong, I'm used to working with the 7D Mark II, the big old battery grip, but trying to consolidate a little bit more and, get new things, because it's nice to get new things. And the 1DX Mark II or 3 is a bit on the large side. So got this RP, started using it for work. It's great as far as photos go. Video though, not so much. That's kind of why I started bringing for shoots that involved more photo and video as opposed to just, stuff like portraits and events. I started bringing the M6 Mark II and the RP for the photo side. So video camera basically and a photo camera, which means extra set of batteries, extra set of lenses. Yeah, it was, it got old pretty quick. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind having all this gear, but for work and trying to get in, 1 to 2 hour shoots where, I didn't want to bring all this stuff if I didn't have to. That eventually got a little bit more cumbersome than I would like. Plus, the RP wasn't necessarily meant to be the main work rig at the time, although it ended up being that way because I kind of switched over from the 7D Mark II to the M6 Mark II and the RP as a duo, if you will. So after a little bit of time, I did eventually kind of get tired of having to lug so much stuff around, so I started considering new things. Again, 1DX Mark II, 1DX Mark III, one of those. But I didn't really want to go the DSLR route, so I picked up the R6, which is a good compromise, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, overall it's kind of the same guts, if you will, as the 1DX Mark III, just in a much smaller mirrorless body here. And it does give me the best of both worlds. So I get the full frame kind of photo capabilities of the RP and the R, and just the R series in general. But I also have exceptional video, obviously much better than the M6 Mark II, but it does really well. It does really good 1080 at 120, so really good slow-mo that I can up-res to 4K pretty decently, and it does up to 4K 60 extremely well, especially for what I do. Shooting C-Log is great as well. I've done that for a few projects, but I honestly don't really need to shoot C-Log for most of my paid gigs. For most of my client needs, just shooting either flat or even a baked in profile for some situations where I need to turn stuff around like super quick, is more than adequate with the R6. So new body, excellent. Consolidating 2 bodies, even better. I also, since I went ahead and bumped up to, something a little bit more workable, like as far as, professional stuff goes. Keep in mind, I came from the 7D Mark II. That was my favorite camera, probably my favorite camera of all time. And unfortunately, there's not an R7 just yet. So moving up to the R6 was kind of my natural progression as far as everything goes. And since I did get the R6, I wanted to go ahead and upgrade my lens kit. So before, I was using the gold ring stuff. So I was using, I would use my 51.8. It's an old vintage lens that's all metal, all really nice, really nice. And then I used the 28 to 135 as my main kind of, basically as my all-in-one kind of deal, which was great, but still slow, but great nonetheless. So I wanted to upgrade that since I'm kind of upgrading everything. So I'll get the R6, and then I went ahead and bumped up my main lens to the 24-107, the 24-105 f4. And then for my wide, for my real estate stuff, I got the 17-40 f4. Between these two and the R6, obviously, I pretty much got everything covered for what I do. On occasions, I do bring the 70-300, the gold ring, the IS USM, but I really don't use that often anymore. So I will probably pseudo retire that and just bump up to the 70-200, either f2.8 or probably just f4. So I'll have a nice trinity of f4 lenses. So yeah, as far as my work goes, this is more than enough for what I do for pretty much all my projects. If anything comes in that I can't handle with this, I'll just either rent like an R5 or something else, or maybe consider upgrading to an R5. But for right now, the R6 is perfect for what I do. Granted, I think the R7 should be coming out probably this month, so I'll probably grab the R7 and use the R6 as well, so I have a nice comparable backup, because as of right now, this RP is kind of the backup for this, and I guess the M6 Mark II. But yeah, this is pretty much, between these two, really, this is what covers me most of the time. I still, on occasion, bring the 50-1.8, but for the most part, this and the 17-40 cover all my shoots. All right, that's pretty much it. I wasn't gonna go too far in depth with this. I'm gonna save that probably for a later video where I go over kind of all the things that I like and kind of some things that I might not like. There's not too many cons or negatives for this, for me, for what I do for my work. Really, it's just pretty much all pro stuff. Not like pro, you know what I mean? All right, I gotta go. We gotta go figure out what I'm gonna shoot after this. So like, share, subscribe if you want. If not, I don't care, you do you. And yeah, I will see you on the next video, which might be film, might be digital. I don't know yet. We're figuring things out. Okay, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. Okay, bye.